This is a video I wanted to do for quite some time now, and I've had a couple of requests as well. I want to do a map video, but be a bit more ambitious and do it on Russia. Disclaimer: I always say mistakes in my map videos. I always get the population wrong or the date wrong or something, so feel free to comment, but yeah, I often say ridiculous things, so forgive me in advance, please. Okay, I'm gonna do this as best I can, because I don't want this to be like a 4-hour video, but it generally could be, because this is an enormous country. What might shock you, if you didn't know before, is that it's kind of like the United States or Great Britain, in which, in the sense that it's not one, it's one country, it's called Russia, but it's like a country of countries. And there's so much diversity, ethnically, linguistically, culturally, historically. So that's my kind of angle. I don't want to spend all day doing Moscow, for example. I want to give a shout out to the other places in Russia that you've never heard of. So, Russia is this country here. It's the biggest country in the world, but it does not have the largest population in the world. Partly because, this is my understanding, you kind of can't live here. Or at least, it's very difficult to do so. Because of the cold, and therefore the lack of resources, farming materials, etc. So some mining towns have sprung up, but it wouldn't have a very large population. And it's incredibly sparsely populated, especially the further east you go. The word in Russian, which is the language of the whole country, is Russia. Let's have some fun. So it's probably important to start with Moscow. So Moscow is there, and it's, for the rest of Russia, fairly western. Not as western as St. Petersburg, St. Petersburg, Moscow, St. Petersburg, which is just on the border with Finland. There's Helsinki. Tallinn of Estonia is here, and St. Petersburg is there. So that is much closer to the rest of Europe, so to speak. I shouldn't do this video about Russia without talking about this little enclave here, Kaliningrad. It might shock some people to know that there's a part of Russia that doesn't actually touch Russia, so it's over here by itself. This happened after the Second World War, I believe. this area, but it's still Russia. As you can see, it's next to Lithuania and Poland, so it's kind of on a map. It's here compared to Russia, which is here. So they are stuck there. Need to go through at minimum 2 countries to get to Russia by land. But you could obviously go by sea. So I just did a video, a language video on Tatar Dili. Check that out if you're interested. And this is the language of this area here. So Tatarstan is this one here, the capital of which is Kazan. So you can see it's just east of Moscow. And this is perfect to show you some notable cities. So from Moscow we've got Nizhny Novgorod, which is here, Kazan, Samara, Saratov, Voronezh, Volgograd, Rostov-na-Donu, Izhevsk, Perm, Ufa, Orenburg, Yekaterinburg, Chelyabinsk, Tyumen, Omsk. And they're quite close to the border with Kazakhstan. I want to pay a little attention to the Caucasus region. After Rostov-na-Donu you've got Krasnodar and Makhachkala. And this is a very interesting area, particularly for someone like me, linguistically. I'm not going to talk about Sevastopol and Crimea in this video. Let's concentrate on this area here. So the area from Volgograd down, you've got Astrakhan here, Stavropol, Sochi, where the Olympics were, Novorossiysk, Nalchik, Vladikavkaz, Grozny, and a number of other places here. And I don't know whether you can see the fainter grey lines, but this area is really cut up between lots and lots of different territories. Somewhere you've probably heard of is Grozny, as it's the capital of Chechnya. So that is Chechnya. There are lots and lots of areas here which are side by side. And they're bordering on Georgia, Azerbaijan, I'm not going to talk about disputed areas, so I don't really want to talk about this place here. There is a lot of sort of disputed territory when it comes to Russia. I think that this area is incredibly interesting and insanely beautiful. These mountain ranges here, the Caucasus Mountains, are beautiful, unbelievably beautiful. Let's go through some more names. Nartkala, Prokhladny, Novopavlovsk, Georgievsk, Kislovodsk, Karachayevsk, Cherkesk, Nevinamsk. I've never even heard of some of these places. Mozdok, Naurskaya, Znamenskaye, Khasavyurt, Buynaksk, Hunzach, Botlich, Urus Martan, Arton, Nazrань, Sunsha. So you can tell just from the place names that these are not Russian names per se. They're in their more local languages, of which there are many in this area. Derbent, Kaspisk, Iterbash, Sergakala, Mugruk, Urkarach, Akusha. So this area down here is still Russia, but there's a greater sense of a local, or very local because there's many and they're not that similar, culture, language, cuisine, national dress, traditions, etc., etc., etc. So this area is incredibly interesting. In the Kabardino-Balkarian Republic, Mount Elbrus, look at that picture, that's amazing. Europe's highest mountain with a peak elevation of 5,642 meters, 2 summits and a cable car system. Okay, so that is the Caucasus, the Caucasus. So when someone says you're Caucasian, it means related to that area. So we got back up to Moscow. Yaroslav has appeared now. And as I say, it starts to get a lot sparser the more north you go. Arkhangelsk is up here. Murmansk. And this area is really interesting because it borders on Sweden and Finland. Yes, Finland and Norway. Yes, it doesn't actually border with Sweden. There's a big, massive island up here, but to what extent there are people here, I'm not sure. I suppose there are some towns. So up here is very, very cold. Novosibirsk, Krasnoyarsk. These are close to Kazakhstan. This is China here, with Xinjiang province. The capital is Urumqi, and this is the area of Baunul, Novokuznetsk, Abakan, Krasnoyarsk, Kemerovo, Tomsk, Novosibirsk, which borders on that region. And if you go over further a bit more, Irkutsk is here. Chita, Ulan. This is starting to sound Mongolian. Yeah, Mongolia is here. Ulaanbaatar is the capital. Bratsk. So as I say, Yakutsk. Very, very sparsely populated. Look at the small number of towns that are up here. I wonder what it would be like to live there. And then Yakutsk is quite a large place. And here is Japan and North Korea. So Russia borders on North Korea with a large city called Vladivostok. And fun fact about Vladivostok, I think that was the longest away trip in a league in the world when Zenit St. Petersburg played Vladivostok in the Premier League in Russia a couple of years ago. Because you have to go from here to here, which if you think about it is insane. I'm not sure how many hours that would take. Is it something like here to here is about 9 hours, so yeah, it's probably about 9 hours maybe. So a 9-hour flight to play an away game in your domestic league, not a Champions League match. Because they are just next to North Korea and across the sea from Japan. So Khabarovsk is here. Blagoveshchensk, Svobodny, Birobidzhan, Kukan, Bira, Kultur, Krasivaya, Chirki, Babstava, Leninskaya, Amurzet, Rade. Komsomolsk na Amurje. So, further east, Magadan. And the furthest over, bearing in mind, oh, hello, Wales. This is Alaska. So this is the United States. Zoom out and show you. So Alaska. That's how close the United States is to Russia. Now can Wales. The Bering Strait. Bering. Diomed. Big Diomed. The Diomed Islands. Little Diomed. They sound American. main city? York. Breivik mission. So Alaska, the story goes, was a part of Russia, and Russia didn't really know what to do with it, and they couldn't defend it very easily. And the Americans thought, we don't really want the Russians this close to us. Just from Seattle to here would be, Russia just across there. So they bought it, but it wasn't cheap. I think someone said it was a couple of billion back in the day, which would have been insane right then, but yeah, like I said, I don't do facts and figures. So yeah, they bought it off the Russians. So you would have had Russia as being that long, but now it's only that long. Again, this is a really interesting area with places like Kazan, Ufa. These are all smaller districts as well, which are worth looking into. So I had to think about it, and I thought, you know what, I should really give you some facts and figures. So let's look at the republics of Russia with the help of Wikipedia. So it says, according to the Constitution, the Russian Federation is divided into 85 federal subjects, constituent units, 22 of which are republics. Most of the republics represent areas of non-Russian ethnicity, although there are several republics with Russian majority. The indigenous ethnic group of the republic that gives its name is referred to as the titular nationality. Due to decades, in some cases centuries, of internal migration inside Russia, each nationality is not necessarily a majority of a republic's population. And it's got them all down the side here, so apologies about pronunciation. Adygea, Altai, Bashkortostan, Buryatia, Dagestan, Ingushetia, Kabardino-Balkaria, Kalmykia, Karachay-Cherkessia, Karelia, Komi, Mariel, Mordovia, Yakutia, North Ossetia-Alania, Tatarstan, Tuva, Udmurtia, Khakassia, Chechnya, Chuvashia, Crimea, claimed by the Ukraine. So let's read this. It says, the republics were established in early Soviet Russia. On the 15th of November 1917, Vladimir Lenin issued the Declaration of the Rights of the Peoples of Russia, giving Russia's minorities the right to self-determination. However, most of these new states would be reconquered by the Soviets during the Russian Civil War, when the Soviet Union was formally created on the 30th of December 1922. The minorities of the country were relegated to autonomous Soviet Socialist republics, ASSR, which had less power than the republics of the Soviet Union. The early Soviet authorities nevertheless encouraged minorities to join the governments of their republics to represent themselves and de-Russify the country in a period known as the Korenizatsia. This policy also affected ethnic Russians and was particularly enforced in ASSRs where indigenous people were already a minority in their own homeland, like the Buryat ASSR. By the 30s, however, the mood shifted as the Soviet Union, now under Joseph Stalin, stopped enforcing Korenizatsia and began purging non-Russians from the government and intelligentsia. Thus, a period of Russification set in. Russian became mandatory in all areas of non-Russian ethnicity, and the Cyrillic script became compulsory for all languages of the Soviet Union. which is why Tatar is written in the Cyrillic script and not the Arabic script like it used to be. The Soviet Union collapsed in 1991, and the position of the ASSRs became uncertain. By law, the ASSRs did not have the right to secede from the Soviet Union like the Union republics did, but the question of national sovereignty became a topic of discussion in some of the ASSRs. Prior to the Union's collapse, future Russian President Boris Yeltsin was an avid supporter of national sovereignty and granted the Union republics independence in what was called a parade of sovereignties. In regards to the ASRs, Yeltsin did not support secession and tried to prevent them from declaring independence. The Checheno-Ingush ASSR, led by Djokhar Dudayev, unilaterally declared independence on the 1st November 1991, and Yeltsin would attempt to retake it on the 11th of December 1994, beginning the First Chechen War. When the Tatar ASSR held a referendum on whether to declare independence on the 21st of March 1992, he had the ballot declared illegal by the Constitutional Court. Yeltsin nevertheless supported giving the republics autonomy, appealing for them to take as much sovereignty as you can swallow. On March 31st, 1992, every subject of Russia except the Tatar SSR and the de facto state of Chechnya signed the Treaty of Federation with the government of Russia, solidifying its federal structure, and Boris Yeltsin became the country's first president. The number of republics increased dramatically as former autonomous oblasts were elevated to full republics, including Altai and Karachay-Cherkessia, while the Ingush portion of the Checheno-Ingush ASSR refused to be a part of the breakaway state and rejoined Russia as the Republic of Ingushetia on the 4th of June 1992. The Republic of Tatarstan demanded its own agreement to preserve its autonomy within the Russian Federation, and on the 15th of February 1994, Moscow and Kazan signed a power-sharing agreement in which the latter was granted a high degree of autonomy. So Adygea is one of them. Population 439,000, and that's in the south, quite close to Georgia. Altai, which is just close to Kazakhstan and Mongolia, has 200,000. Bashkortostan, which is again just above Kazakhstan and close to Tatarstan, is 4 million, and its capital is Ufa. Buryatia, which is closer to China, population 972,000. Chechnya, which as you know is in the south, not far from Georgia and Azerbaijan, and this has 1.2 million inhabitants, and the capital is Grozny. Chuvashia, which is in just outside of Moscow to the east, is the capital of which is Cheboksary, 1.2 million. Dagestan, which is just above Azerbaijan, has 2.9 million, with 9 indigenous nationalities, and the capital is Makhachkala. Ingushetia, also in that same area, this is what I was talking about earlier on, where so many are in the same area. Magas is the capital, and there are 412,000 people. Kabardino-Balkaria, same region, and the capital is Nalchik, and there are 859,000 inhabitants. Not far away, Kalmykia, capital is Elista, and it's 289,000. Karachay-Cherkessia, again in that southern tip of the Caucasus. Capital is Cherkesk, and 477,000. Karelia is on the border with Finland. Karyalan, Tazavaldu. Petrozavodsk is the capital, over 643,000 population. Further away east, again close to Mongolia, Khakassia. Abakan is the capital, and it's 532,000. Komi is more towards the north of that central part of Russia, so up from Moscow. The capital is Syktyvkar, and 900,000 people live there. The Mari El isn't far from Tatarstan, so just east of Moscow. Yoshkar Ola is the capital, and it's a 696,000 population. Mordovia, south of Moscow, I think, southeast, is Saransk is the capital, and there's 834,000 people living there. North Ossetia Alanya, with Vladikavkaz as the capital, has a 712,000 population. Yakutia, with Yakutsk as the capital, it's gone smaller, and that's right over far east. That has a population of 958,000. Tatarstan, with Kazan as the capital, with 3,700,000 people. Again, that's in the sort of east of centre. Tuva is closer to Mongolia, and it has 300,000 population. The capital is Kizil. Izhevsk is the capital, finally, of Udmurtia, which is more central again, east, and there's 1.5 million people living there. And that's your lot. What do you think about it? Me doing some facts for a change, not guessing numbers. Incidentally, I focused today on the republics of Russia, but you should also check out the other areas of Russia. For example, there's oblasts and krugs, which make up the entire country, and I haven't had enough time to go over those, but in brief, there are 46 oblasts, 22 republics, which we just looked at, 9 krais, 4 autonomous okrugs, 3 federal cities, and 1 autonomous oblast, which curiously is the Jewish autonomous oblast. Look at that beautiful flag. Which is just on the border with China. And logically, the 3 federal cities are Moscow, St. Petersburg, and Sevastopol. Four autonomous okrugs. It's going to tell us what their names are. Chukotka, autonomous okrug. Khanty-Mansi, autonomous okrug. Nenets Autonomous Okrug and Jamalo Nenets Autonomous Okrug. And lastly, the Krais, type of federal subject in Russia, state government. Oh, and it doesn't actually tell us. Yeah, so this is the oblasts, of which there are 46, and they're all their pretty flags. I hope you enjoyed the video and you're either informed or relaxed, maybe even asleep. I didn't intend on hurting anyone's feelings, so with some of the more controversial areas I hope I avoided them correctly. And if you liked the video, then by all means click like. And if you are new to the channel and you want to enjoy more content like this, then why not consider subscribing. A massive shout out to my current subscribers as well, thank you so much. And an even bigger shout out to my lovely patrons, thank you so much. I'm gonna leave it there. Thank you so much for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it. And I'll see you again soon. Spasiba. Thank you. До свидания. Goodbye. Thank you for subscribing, commenting, and liking my videos. It really means so much to me. A special thank you to my supporters on Patreon. The link is in the description box if you want to join them. Also, now you can support me by just watching me on Tingles. Click the link in the description box. Diolch. Thanks.